Highly ho there, students. Mr. Kaczynski with you. 6.6, practice your skills. This is zero and negative exponents. Zero and negative exponents. So right off the bat, how about just off to the side here, we know that any number raised to a negative power is 1 over that number raised to a positive power. So that would be a positive n. So there's the negative exponent. And then any number raised to the power of 0 is just 1. So those are the two properties that we're using here today. All right, so 2 to the negative third. We could rewrite that as 1 over 2 to the positive third. I think that's what we're looking for here in the answers. We could also call that 1/8 if we wanted to. I'll write that down, but I think what we're looking for in the book answer is 1 over 2/3. I'm sorry, 1 over 2 to the power of 3. So 5 to the negative 2, that's like 1 over 5 squared, also known as 1/25th. And maybe a calculator here to show this. 5 to the power of negative 2, 1 over 5 to the power of positive 2, 1 over 25. They're all the same thing. All right, this one is in scientific notation, but apparently we're going to take it out of scientific notation to write it with positive exponents. So this is like 1.35 over 10 to the fourth, I guess, is the way we would write that, although I don't like the fact that there's decimals in this fraction. We could probably fix that, but again, I think that's, that is what the book is showing as an answer. So on this one, well, anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So this right here is 1. So we have 1 over 4 to the negative 2. But I'm going to actually make that 4 to the positive 2, or 16. So another thing we could write over here for a property, we could say this, or 1 over a to the negative n is the same as just a to the positive n. So you have a negative exponent in the denominator, you can move that to the top. So 1 over 4 to the power of negative 2. This should be like 4 squared, which is 16. Furthermore, this one is 3 squared, or 9. And this one, well, they have the same base, so I think I'll subtract their exponents. So I'll do negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8, but that would be like 1 over 1.4 to the positive 8th. 1 over 1.4 to the positive 8th. Again, don't like the decimal in a fraction, but that's what we're just doing practice your skills. We're just trying to get the basic ideas of this down. Number 2, we're going to use less than, equal to, or greater than to kind of compare these numbers. So here's what I notice on A, 6.35, if I multiplied that by 10, I'd get 63.5. And 10 to the 5th, if I divide that by 10, I'd get 10 to the 4th. So that together tells me that these are actually equal to each other. They're equal to each other. All right. On these, I kind of like to look at these as if I'm like imagining a number line in my head, and here's 0. So if I was going to do this, it's negative, so it's left. It's really tiny, but whatever. It's actually less than 1. But there's that one. And then this one right here. So here's negative 5.24. Here, negative 5.2. They have the same power. I think it's just going to be a little bit to the left of it. So that's why I'm going to say that this one is greater than this one. Kind of like this number line idea. Let's apply that a few more times. So again, here's 0. If I take this number, it's actually raised to a positive power, so, or a negative power. So actually, maybe I'll put 0 over here. So if I put that over here somewhere, where would this fall? Well, that negative 6 right there actually means it's going to have more Oh man, I got this messed up still. Bear with me. It's a positive number. So I am doing positive. So this is actually over here, smaller than 1 because of that negative exponent goofing me up. Okay, so this number right here actually has more decimal places because it's got that higher negative exponent. So that's actually right here, which makes, again, I messed this up. I'm going to go back and fix it. So the number, this number is actually greater. Over here, let's fix this. That's left of it. So less than, right? There we go. But again, the number line's helping me. I'm getting it worked out. All right, let's do it again. We got negative numbers, so left of 0 on the number line. You know, the 2.7 and the 2.8, I really don't care about those too much. Really, it's more so about these exponents. And that bigger exponent actually means it's going to be closer to 0 than this smaller exponent. So that's actually going to be over there. So that means, let's see, it's right of it, so it's greater than. Yeah, there we go. A couple more times. Dealing with negative numbers. This, I mean, that's 1 right there. So this is just negative 4.7. So negative 4.7 times 1 is negative 4.7. And this number, when you multiply it by 10 to the negative 1, you're really dividing it by 10. So it's like negative 0.47. All right. So orange less than blue. Yeah. All right. One more of those anyway. Positive numbers we're dealing with. This, interestingly enough, is just 1. So it's right there. But this one, that's like 3.25 divided by 10. So it's like 0.325. Okay, which makes it less than 1. So that's less than. All right. I checked my answers too. We got all those right. All right, find the exponent of 10 that you need to write this in scientific notation. Okay, no problem. We got to move it to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So that would be a 5. 5. So this one, how about we look at it like this? What happened here? We divided by 10, so I need to multiply by 10 here. What's that going to change my exponent to? It's going to make it 1 bigger. So negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. Negative 4. All right, and last one. Just got to move that decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4 spots to the left. You know what? That's negative 4. Which means I actually messed this up too, didn't I? This should be negative 5. I'm identifying some mistakes here as I go. That's negative 5. That's negative 4. That's negative 4. Checking my answers. Yep, got all those right. Negative 5, negative 4, negative 4. All right, the population of a town is currently 45,647. It's been growing at a rate of 2.8% per year. Write an expression in this form in the form of this for the current population. For the current population. Oh, as in right now. Yeah, okay. So currently that's been growing. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. 45,647. I don't know what year it is, but that's what it currently is. And it's grown 2.8%. How many times? 0 times. Okay. So that's the actual answer. And if you type that into your calculator, it'll give you 45,647 because this raised to the 0 power is 1, and 1 times 45,647 is just 45,647. All right. What does this expression represent in the equation? Okay, so that expression, this is the population 12 years ago. Yeah, 12 years ago. So the negative 12 means if we went backward 12 years. So what about 8 years ago? What would that expression look like? Okay, simple enough. It would just be the 45,647 times 1 plus 0.028. But we're working backwards 8 years. There we go. Write expressions without negative exponents that are equivalent to those. Okay. Well, let's see. This one up here would be 45,647. I'm sorry, actually this one right here. 45,647 divided by 1 plus 0.028 to the power of positive 12. All right, and this one, very similarly, would be 45,647 all over 1 plus 0.028 to the power of, instead of negative 8, positive 8. Let's check one of those. How about that? Let's do 45,647 times 1 plus 0.028 to the power of negative 12. But now I'll do that same thing. So that would be the population 12 years ago, and it's gone up to 45,000 since it started there 12 years ago. So now let's do that same thing, 647, and we'll do it divided by 1 plus 0.028 to the power of positive 12. Same number. Same number. So we did it right. All right, and number 5. Juan says that 6 to the negative 3 is the same as negative 6 to the positive 3. Write an explanation of how Juan could interpret 6 to the negative 3, and then show him how each expression represents a different value. Okay, well, let's do this, Juan. 6 to the negative third is actually, how about 1 over 6 to the positive third? So it's like 1 over 6 times 6 times 6. Or maybe even it's 1 divided by 6 divided by 6 divided by 6. And let's show them on the calculator too. 6 to the power of negative 3 is the same as 1 divided by 6 divided by 6 divided by 6. Okay, whereas negative 6 to the positive third power is just like negative 1 times 6 cubed, or negative 1 times 6 times 6 times 6. So negative 6 to the power of 3 is the same as negative 1 times 6 times 6 times 6. There it is. All right, so very, very, very different between, what was this one? 1 divided by 6 divided by 6 divided by 6. Yeah, that's like about 0.005. And this one down here is negative 216. Okay, one's negative, one's positive, one's a whole number, one's a fraction, very tiny. That's kind of how I'd express that to Juan, I guess. All right, that's all I got for you. I'm out.